What is up, ladies and gents? It's your boy Jermaine Event, Main on MMA. Today we are going to check out a video from Chael P. Sonnen, ladies and gentlemen. We're checking out a video from Chael Sonnen. He's claiming, it looks like, that he was going to throw in the towel. He was in the corner for Colby Covington. And he's claiming he was going to throw in the towel. Ladies and gentlemen, let me see if I agree with his assessment of things. And yeah, let's get into this.
All right. So Colby just went to war with Buckley.
Yeah, he went to war.
And there's two stories in this fight. Okay, the first is Buckley. Buckley does not have a ceiling. Not yet. If we could have got to a fourth or fifth round, it would have been better in assessing Buckley. Because he'd never been scheduled for championship rounds. Excuse me. For championship rounds before, he had never done championship rounds. So you always got to question, you just question the guy, whether it's fair or not. There's nothing I have seen from Buckley that makes me believe that he would fade.
Yeah.
But it's still a question. And his ceiling is high. It's unknown. His ceiling is unknown.
Did he fight 5 rounds against like Imavov or something? Or Imavov? I'm not sure.
He would be a problem for Rakhmonov. The Rakhmonov that fought 2 weeks ago, tonight's Buckley would have beat him.
Would have beat that ass.
Buckley would be a problem for Ian Gary. Buckley would be a match for Bilal Muhammad. Does any of that surprise you? Would you like to disagree with any of that?
No, it's tough.
And I bring that to you because we knew going into the fight we're dealing with a very good guy. We weren't overlooking Buckley. I'm just sharing for you. He turned out to be better. He turned out to be more powerful. He turned out to be faster. He turned out to be able to push a little harder in certain situations. Smart guy too. Colby coming in for takedowns, but Buckley knew every time Colby was thinking takedown, somehow Buckley knew. I would love if these two make up. You know, sometimes you do that after you fight. You shake hands and then maybe even help one another. I would love if Buckley would call me or tell me, because before Colby shot, every time Buckley knew. And Buckley defended it the same way every time, which is he backed up so the fence is there. And that makes it wildly difficult to score. And I just want to know how he knew. What was the tell? So
that point is crazy because usually Colby wants to back you up against the fence. That's where he does his best work. But against Buckley, that's where he defended best. It's crazy. He did a great job.
I got to keep reminding myself, I mean, I'm making you guys this video. I'm high. I'm in great spirits. That is not how I feel after a competition that doesn't go our way. But I have to keep reminding myself that Colby came in second because it didn't feel like that. The tide of that match was turning, and Colby did have a few things to prove to everybody, including himself. The performance that Colby had against Leon, right? If you're going to look at somebody's career, and
it was 3 rounds with Nasruddin, but I remember him being like down, looking kind of tired, and then coming back with this like resurgence. I thought that was a 5-round fight.
You're going to judge it on a bell curve. You're going to throw that fight out. It was the worst Colby has ever looked. But the question comes in, oh, well, Colby's 36 years old. Is just how he looks now. That would make a lot of sense. But he also had a broken foot. So how much of that played in? And it was a very big deal in Colby versus Leon for Colby stopping the wrestling. You've got to have your foot. I mean, you plant your foot, you drive your hips and all this stuff. It all comes from your foot. Is that why he went down? I don't want to take that away from Leon. That's fair play. But when I talk about Colby had questions that needed to be answered, it turns out he is dog tough. They love to say the last thing to go is your power. Now, that is not true. They that say that are dum-dums, but that's the fight community, and the fight community says the last thing to go is your power. But the first thing to go is your grit.
Oh, your grit, yeah.
How bad do I want it? You ask yourself subconsciously that within 30 seconds of a fight. Within 30 seconds, you're already thinking, right? When your clock and your time has expired, you're already thinking, do I want to be in here? And there was nothing in that fight. I mean, Colby looked so dog tough. Buckley did too. Colby was getting hit on his feet with everything you could do. I mean, he's busted open so bad, the doctor has to look at it 3 times. Twice, he stops the action to let it keep going. The 3rd time, he said, man, we can't go anymore. I was going to stop that fight. I already grabbed the towel. When the doctor came in for the 3rd time, and I'm watching that blood, it's not stopping. And it is going into the eye. And that's the only thing you're really looking for. When we as fight fans, we as tough guys, think the doctor should have stopped it, we're talking about, it doesn't really matter how bad the cut is from our perspective, as long as it's not going in the eye. If it's blinding a guy, it doesn't matter if it's a little or a lot. If it's in his eye and he can no longer see out of that eye, it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. If this much blood is stopping you from seeing, a flood of blood still stops you from seeing. And this was bad, and this was in the eye. And I stood up so I could see what the doctor was doing. I told Charlie, the number 2, I said, hand me that towel. I'm stopping this. So I bring that to you because the referee...
I feel like Chael be dramatic. I don't know if that's true. That's crazy to say, though. I hate these bathrooms. Look to the side of Chael there. That's a bathroom, all right, that's with a sliding door. It doesn't fully close. Basically, the door is open. If you're in there with somebody else, you can hear everything. Everything that's going on in that bathroom. He might be in the bathroom looking at these mirrors.
Was taking some criticism. Well, let me be fair here. I saw what they saw.
No, he's not.
Okay? So I'm just going to set that aside. But at no point in all those punches that Colby took,
No,
and there was
he
a
is.
body shot, you could hear it throughout the building. Boom, he took a shot to the body. Buckley just swung wildly. Took that big fist with all that big power. He's got, boom, hit him in the body. There was nowhere Colby even winced. There was nowhere that he flinched. There was never a time that he stepped backwards.
Yeah.
There was not a time that he went down, and I offer you that because there was a time when he went down, but it wasn't from a punch. There was a punch as he
Off
slipped as he went
balance.
down. I'm just bringing that to you. Like there was, when you look at the grit meter, this was one of Colby's best fights. When you look at the digging deep, this does not replace the fight with Kamaru Usman, but god damn, it's right there. When you look at grit, and you look at the shots that he took, you look at the damage that they did, and he did not care. There was times he was on bottom, and Colby and I had a deal. And one thing about Colby, his word is good. So I made him say it. I made him say, do we have a deal? And all the deal is that mat is to be looked at like it's lava. And if your back hits it, it'll burn your back. We are not going to be on bottom. And every time he ended up in that position, he scrambled and came up. He scrambled. And then you want to gain elevation in a scramble. Anytime you're scrambling, you want your head higher than your opponents. You got to gain elevation. He did a leg pass. I mean, it looked like Ben Askren rolling between the legs, coming up, push the ankles down, turn and face him. It was awesome. Everything about that fight was awesome. And where does Colby go from here? I mean, it's such an interesting question. He is pulled in so many different directions. There are so many people that want in on the Colby business. And he's focused and he's disciplined. Even when he knows he's committed and has to do some other things, he's focused and disciplined. He gets that workout in. He keeps these people at an arm's reach. He keeps his relationship. He keeps his bubble small. But he doesn't have to do that forever. I mean, at some point, and I met a lot of his friends, they were really good people. And they've got really good ideas and things that they would like him to come participate. I mean, he doesn't owe us or himself forever.
Yeah.
It was a great fight. I was very proud of him. I thought that Buckley looked awesome. I don't know where that was going to go. I think we were down both rounds going to the third, I think. But then I was told that one of the judges had it 1-1. And I'm not here to relive that. I just felt like the tide was turning. And Buckley was a real sport about that. And he said, hey, I was fading a little bit. And that's important that Buckley understands that. Because Buckley did nothing wrong. He just has to learn how to extend, right? If he's going to be fighting like this, and he's going to do such a good job in the media, he's going to be headlining events. So that means he's going to be in the 5-round club. And it's good for Buckley to know where that energy goes. I feel like both guys got better tonight. But if I'm looking at it from one perspective, which is not the outcome, I can't even count it, guys. I just can't. I mean, we went in there. We know the rules of the sport, and I swear to goodness, we had forgotten. There was knockout, submission, and a referee's decision. That's it. Then we had a plan to deal with all three. A knockout was not going to happen. A submission was not going to happen. Could it go to a referee's decision? Sure. What would have they said? Well, 12 more minutes, and we would have found out. I can't count a doctor stoppage. I thought they both looked great.
Tell him.
That is simply what happened.
Tell him, Chael. I have to say I agree with Chael. Can't agree with a doctor stoppage. I know you guys might be like, that fight was going a certain direction. Yeah, you niggas said that before what fight? Before the second Bilal Leon fight. That fight was going a direction. It was like one round. It was one round. And if you go back and watch that fight, as I did, that first fight, I was like, dude, Bilal was in that man's face the whole time. He was right there. And I was like, he landed that clean kick. That was like one of the biggest moments of the fight. But I was like, Bilal was like, he was wobbled for like a half a second, but then was right back in Leon's face, like throwing. And I'm like countering. All right. He was right there, right back on him. I was like, whoa, hold on. Is this the moment that people are saying is like, this is why they're saying Leon was dominating fight, why Leon was just gonna win that fight? This is why I kept saying that everybody in Calf Kick Sports, everybody I spoke to, I was like, there's nothing in that fight that should tell us that Leon should have so much confidence going into that fight. If you guys go back and watch that fight week, Leon was so confident. And if you just go back and look at interviews when Bilal is brought up to Leon, when he's the champion, he's completely dismissing Bilal. Like, he was like, oh, I was dominating him. And I go back and watch that fight. It's like, what fight do you think happened here? Leon, that's not what happened. I was like, he should be worried. He came in on that fight short notice. All right. And you poked this man in the eye like 2 times. All right. You hit him with your best shot clean, and it did nothing. He ate it. All right. He ate it. Otherwise, he was all over you. You were trying to come with the pressure, and he was countering. And he was coming with, dude, I was like, dude, there's no reason Leon should be this confident going in there, and he shouldn't have been. I was right. So I'm also of the thinking that in the first BMF fight, when the doctor stopped the fight, I felt like Jorge Masvidal was just getting tired. I felt like at the end of that third round, the tide was starting to turn. And Nate was starting to land some punches from bottom on his face, just cleanly talking shit to Jorge. Jorge was looking tired. And then the doctor comes in and stops it. But if that fight goes 2 more rounds, I'm telling you, I feel like Nate would have finished it. They had their rematch in boxing, and Nate wins. I didn't watch that fight. I'll be honest with you. So I'm of the ilk that I agree here with Chael P. Sonnen that if the doctor comes in and stops it, you know, we got 2 more rounds. We don't know. We don't know what else would have happened. All right. There's about 10 more minutes left in that fight. And we don't know. I felt like Colby was landing some good shit. All right. Buckley was landing some good punches, but like he was landing a lot over 3 rounds. All right. I feel like if anybody was going to start to get tired, if the wrestling was going to start working for Colby, it was going to be right then in like the 4th. All right. But we will never know. We'll never know because the doctor stepped in and stopped the fight. It is what it is. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you agree with Chael Sonnen that a doctor stoppage isn't really legit? You know what I'm saying? Did Dustin Poirier really beat Conor that second time? I don't think so, because the doctor stopped it because of the ankle. All right, doctor stoppage. Okay, there was no there was no real finish. All right, in that one. But let me know if you disagree. And that was a legit Stoppage in there, and you guys just hate Colby. Let me know in the comments. Thank you guys for being here once again, and I will see you guys when I see you. I'll holla.